easy. We're gonna be able to play the tournaments, and we're gonna do our best. We're not gonna care about the qualifying for TI, and we're just gonna take it tournament by tournament, take it easy, and enjoy ourselves. So yeah, being the minor champions now, I feel like we have a lot of momentum going into this tournament, and we've learned a lot from playing the previous minor. The last minor, the finals, they got pretty close, maybe when they shouldn't be so close after beating all the teams so easily going into the final. So yeah, I hope we can do the same at this tournament.
Yeah, I think that we were definitely prepared going into the major, and I think that some teams maybe underestimated us a little bit. Maybe Vici Gaming, they're the team that helped us get to that top 6 kind of placement. We had gone through the minor and won, so we probably had the most games on the current patch in like a competitive setting, so that definitely helps a lot. And it's hopefully we can make the same kind of run here.
Our performance in the last major is pretty good, considering we just won the minor and we went into the tournament with no practice. So yeah, hopefully we can achieve the same result going to this tournament and maybe the next one. Our biggest rivals in this tournament, it's kind of hard to say because it's a new patch and all these teams, you don't really know which heroes are going to be good and stuff. So I mean, the biggest rivals, I guess, could be like some of the Chinese teams like eHome and Sirius. And yeah, I think those two.
Shout out to all the Eastern European fans who are going to be here or maybe in Moscow watching these last 2 Dota tournaments before TI. It's going to be a lot of fun, and the Cyber Arena always has a good crowd, so I'm looking forward to seeing them. I am a defending StarLadder champion, or from last year I was here at the same time. So,
just want to say a shout out to all the CIS fans. They're going to come here to watch us, and yeah, hopefully we're going to have a good time.
我们这个队刚处1个月吧，1个月左右吧，不到2个月，然后队员都挺好的吧。 感觉没什么难处吧，然后就感觉没什么难处吧，还好吧，没有感觉到特别感觉是意料之内的事情吧。团队吧，感觉组起来像一个 team 吧，然后就这样吧。更新我没有仔细看，我也不知道，不好意思。我尽力吧，我也不知道。
We get a lot of information from those interviews, but I think one of the first things just to say is you straight up hear from NIP, one of the teams that they considered potentially being some of their biggest competition was Sirius, and they're going to be playing them in the first matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you talk about Peter, despite all the, leave China to me memes, I mean, this is a guy that has faced a lot of the top quality talent, the best that region has to offer over the years. You think about beating CDC in the TI5 final. Yeah, he's got a lot of respect for China and for these kind of players and the kinds of individual talent that they're producing. And that's similar to what we were talking about with eHome yesterday. That's the question to me about both the Chinese teams in this tournament is, we know the individual skill is there. Is the team play, some of the things that we're talking about in that interview just there with ASD, is the team play, is the strategy going to be there, especially in a new patch?
Yeah, how do you feel about that? Do you think that it is going to be present, Tsunami?
I think that Peter is generally unreadable when it comes to interviews, and so whatever he may say and what he thinks are two wildly different things. I would be surprised if they generally consider Sirius to be a serious opponent, one that would really give them a run for their money, because I find it unlikely. I've been discouraged. I've wanted to believe in Aster. I wanted to believe that these superstar players could come back. I mean, I love Sylar. He's one of my favorite Eastern players from his legacy, and I always wanted to be encouraged by their return to the professional scene, but it just never delivers.
Let me sort of let me give you hope here. Okay.
Please.
The big difference between Aster and Sirius is that we have at least 2 players on Sirius that have just had a ton of success this season.
True.
I mean, Tianming and ASD delivered big time for eHome in the early part of this year. And in July, unlike in Flame, in July is a much, much more stable player. I think, to me, if you're stable 2 through 4 in Pro Dota, you can have a chance to win
for sure
in almost every game. And that's where I feel like NIP is definitely going to have the edge strategically. I mean, I think it's been since TI5 EG that Peter has had this many weapons to play with in a draft.
Especially his signature weapon.
Oh my goodness, the first pick. I'm telling you, a lot of pros have been spamming this hero in pubs.
But not in professional games.
No, we haven't seen it in officials yet, but this has been like, it's part of the buzz when you talk to players and you talk to individual teams. Everybody's sort of wondering who's going to try out Tran.
Yeah, and oftentimes, since we have 2 European teams in this tournament, I'll be like, okay, well, regionally, these regions favor these heroes. But NIP go to the beat of their own drum. And so Alliance are picking, their signature things. NIP are going to pick their own things. And I think in this different group, we're going to see a lot of different heroes, although Sirius will stick with their Chinese compatriots, as eHome also love Leshrac quite a bit.
I think Leshrac is hard not to like right now. I just think the hero gives you a lot, and potentially even in different roles. And we're going to see if they're going to go back to the traditional eHome Leshrac Sand King opening, or whether they're going to go in another direction with Warlock already banned.
I don't even know what you pair with Treant Protector, though. I'm very excited to see, because this is the first phase Treant Protector. It's not even something like, oh, this could be a good Treant game. It's like, I'm going to make this a good Treant game if it's the last thing I do.
I mean, Peter, one of the winningest Treant players all time in Pro Dota 2.
One of the few people.
He's got a gaudy record on this
He
hero.
used to spam it in pubs before he was even good.
Yes.
He just enjoys the hero.
10 seconds.
All right, in a few moments, we're going to find out what is going to be paired with it. A few questions from the analysts.
5 seconds remaining.
How do you build around this first pick?
So I think there are multiple approaches. Sometimes you want to take advantage of the living armor build. And so you go for heroes who like to play very aggressively early on and can tank a lot more, like they can tower dive and stuff like that. Shadow Shaman, this seems more like a Leech Seed pairing then.
No, see, the reason that I really like the Shadow Shaman is I feel like support play in this patch is going to be as or more important as any time over the past couple of years. Like, I really feel like as we go toward TI, support play, because they're going to have more resources to work with, it's going to become so critical, even more so than in the recent past. Shadow Shaman is their most picked support this season. Sasuke is 22-5 since the last TI on Shadow Shaman. And when half of your support duo is a little bit of an experiment, I love picking up this Shadow Shaman who he got a slight nerf, small nerf to his base attack time, but that huge attack damage is still there. He's going to be able to lock down that lane, and we just know what Saksa can do as the match goes on this hero.
Yeah, and I like it a little bit more than Saksa's other signature, Rubik, because this hero is a little bit more useful earlier on. Rubik's a little bit greedier, and so I think if you're going to start experimenting, then go with something a little bit more stable, like a Shadow Shaman.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of Rasta today in general as well.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, and I really, day one, we didn't necessarily see it, but we're starting to get a wider sample of all of our squads here now.
And I think this is a Shadow Shaman that will get more farm than the Shamans that you saw earlier in the day.
Yeah.
Saksa likes finishing off big items.
And Peter known for playing that hard 6.
Exactly.
Right? No, I think you're going to look at a Rasta that is going to get a blink, that is eventually going to get an Ags in this match, possibly both by the 30-35 minute mark, and that's the kind of thing. Again, as you're looking at some of these stats, I was looking at the end game stat screens in the first series that you guys are doing, and one of the things that you're noticing is like you'll have a game like that last one where like the hero damage is actually pretty close, and where that last game, I don't know if you guys covered this in the post game. Windstrike had 300 more last hits. Than Ambergesa did. And the hero damage was like close. The difference was less than 10k.
Although Sven was suspiciously missing from that hero.
Exactly.
He was hitting a lot of creeps, not hitting a lot of heroes.
But here's the thing, right? So much of Dota right now is the ability to take that one fight between 25 and 35 minutes and convert it into big base damage. And Shadow Shaman is just a hero. If you're putting farm on him, especially if you get that Ags around that time of the game, he's just a hero that can take one fight And if he survives, all of a sudden, it's Elena Rax at least.
For sure.
Don't worry, Nahaz. We were all over those stats on the last analyst segment.
But how are we all over those stats?
Dude, we love stats. We got some of the best looking numbers on the face of the planet, provided by our analytical partner in SAP.
That's who it was.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of SAP, don't get them confused with the pick from NIP. That's not SAP. That's just SAP.
Yes, the tree. I get it. I know where you're going
Wow.
with that.
I mean, you really...
The gears were turning for
That's
that
good.
one.
That's good, Rich. I like that. You took the time. You really built up the joke.
Yeah. You know, I come in, I say my joke, and then after that, you can just leave me alone.
Oh, my Lord, get me out.
You don't have a third one in you.
What? Don't have a third one in me?
Oh, come on.
I could really
You mean
branch
you
out.
would?
here.
You really do need to branch out.
I was going for the branch joke.
Thank you.
I started. I was going to branch out, and then I was going to go back to the root of it and make that wood joke.
I think you just got called and raised, buddy. Anyway.
Now the question.
All right, there you go. I'm telling you, man, this is Sirius showing their cards pretty damn early on in the draft.
Yeah.
And what are those cards? What was the hand that was just revealed?
Carry Naga Siren, man.
They want to farm a lot, and they don't want to have to worry about... So Naga Siren, as opposed to, I guess, like your Terror Blades or your Spectres or something like that, technically she requires a little bit less protection. With her having a song, she has her own way of getting out of fights, and so I think that's the advantage of Naga Siren as opposed to other hard carries. And other hard carries are more popular because they're like, well, whatever, I want to fight with my carry. I don't want to just leave her alone, make her farm for 40 minutes or something like that.
And importantly,
right,
right, it's not just protection for her. It's a reset, and it's not just something that impacts the game. It also has a big impact on the draft, is that you know that you have this reset button. And this is, you kind of know with these first two supports that NIP is going to pick a lot of team fight here, and a hero like the Brewmaster. And that's, the Naga is anticipating that, saying, look, we know that we need to have this reset button, right? Our first two picks on board are not things that are going to have big team fight abilities, and we're not a wombo combo type team. If you look at Sirius's games coming up to here, NIP are much more in that brand. I think picking that Naga there gives you a degree of team fight insurance as the draft goes on.
It's very, very much like how a silencer is in disengagement. It's just that I don't know what direction they want to go with it now. Like, do you gear yourselves towards a 50-minute game, or if NIP are going for a lot of team fight, then